2022 has come and gone, and we have a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Hi, my name's Fyfe, and I'm your Calgary Realtor. If you want more information about anything Calgary real estate related, go ahead and click the very first link in the description and book a call with me. I promise I'm pretty easy to talk to. Okay, so here are the numbers for the detached homes in Calgary for the month of December, and today we're only looking at the detached sector. If you're curious about another property type, make sure to browse my channel. So here's a full list of the year-to-date stats package for detached homes, both this year and last year. And as you may already know, it's been a pretty crazy year. You can see some pretty aggressive price increases from January to May, followed by a continued decrease in price with the year ending at $619,000, a $28,000 decrease from our May highs. Now, with the number of migration that all the people that are coming to Calgary, the demand is still strong, and I do not think that we will see prices fall down to that $564,000 price point that we had last December. Now, month over month, the prices actually stayed the exact same, minus $100, which is virtually $0. New sales, new listings, and inventory have all fallen, which was expected for the months of December. So now what we do is we wait to see just how long they stay deflated until that spring market really does kick in. Supply and demand will play a factor in this, as our net migration is the highest that it's been in a very long time. But harsh weather is something to be aware of as well. A cold, long winter can put a damper on things and really mess around with some of those late spring stats, and I'll make sure to touch on that if that does happen. Next, I really do like this graph because you can clearly see price movement as a whole over the past 12 months. Now, I will most likely be referencing this graph in 2023. If you look closely, you will notice that this is the first month that prices didn't change month over month, and that's a great sign, especially in December. Now, it could be a factor of people rushing to purchase homes before the holiday season, or there was a large lack of new listings causing the demand to strengthen. The blue bar is inventory, the green bar is sales, and the red line is price. Now, it's really good to see that wedge coming together after the increase in interest rates. Now, if that was the opposite and the wedge was getting larger, so less sales and more inventory, we would see a steeper decrease in price. The inventory in this sector has dropped significantly thanks to fewer people selling their homes in Calgary. Now, I would argue that Calgary took rising interest rates very well compared to other cities in Canada, and I think this graph can prove it. Okay, so this chart here showcases the detached market in each quadrant of Calgary. This will help us understand what's going on around the city. Now, feel free to pause the video and read through it on your own. Starting on the left, every quadrant sold more homes than were listed in the month of December. Now, that legitimately blows my mind. I would have not anticipated this to happen, and I will touch on this on the next slide. Months of supply is in this column here, and this helps us figure out which areas are still in demand. With most quadrants being under 2 months, I would argue that the seller has more leverage in the negotiation if, and that's a big if, they list their home reasonably priced with good marketing and lots of availability. Prices have fallen, but those who have capitalized on listing their home lower can attract the most amount of buyers and potentially get over list price or over market value with favorable terms for the seller. Now, as a buyer, you need to consider this insight when new listings come to the market, and if it's priced well, you should consider your competitive options with your offer to stand out. Now, from my experience, there is still a lot of multiple offer situations happening here, but with the listings that have been on the market for a little longer, maybe they went through a pending situation once or twice, now is your opportunity to capitalize on better deals as the market has shifted enough to start favoring the buyer in certain situations and areas. Now, next, here are the prices for each quadrant, and here you can see some of the increases year over year, with some quadrants increasing 15%. Now, that's quite a bit. So for context purposes, you can see that the Northeast was 15% year over year, which equates to $63,000 increase. And when I was referencing last year's market report, the year over year increase in the Northeast was 9%. So $36,000 increase from 2020 to 2021. So put that all together, that's quite a bit. Now, the month over month stat, they're interesting to look at, but in order to get the full picture, you need to be watching these updates every single month and following along with your quadrant of interest. Now, a crazy one that I did see was West Calgary saw a huge increase in 1 month of 1.54%, which is massive with such a high price point in that area. That was a $12,000 increase in just 1 month. So those are the things that I would definitely highlight. Next, we're going to switch it up for this one and look at the yearly summary stats for 2022 compared to 2021. Now, I'm going to concentrate on the right-hand side of this image. I found a couple things very interesting, and the first example would be that 2021 actually had more sales than 2022. The total sales volume increased in 2022 compared to 2021 by $402 million. The new sales were identical, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. The days on market decreased by a sizable amount due to the demand that we saw in the spring. And then when you look at that benchmark price, there is a $79,000 increase in 1 year. Now, when you put that all together, it's pretty crazy. And I actually recorded a video earlier this year talking about why Calgary experienced such a crazy rush in the real estate market, and I'm confident that that video still stands true today. The main contributor that kicked this off was net migration from out-of-province buyers due to the Alberta government putting ads out showcasing the cost of living in Calgary was a lot lower than the other provinces out there. This was also fueled for these increases by the pent-up demand in the Calgary real estate market. Now, 2013-14 were our last booms. When the oil crash happened, it crashed Calgary housing hard. We have been very slow and somewhat decreasing ever since. So all of that pent-up demand plus all of those out-of-province buyers just was a perfect storm for Calgary, which caused these crazy increases in pricing. Now, I cannot stress it enough, if you're considering a home sale or a home purchase in 2023, it's never too early to start figuring out what the numbers are and what the best course of action could be for you to take prior to making any large financial decisions. If you're curious about the strategies that you can put in place now, then just go ahead and book a call and we can chat. But that's all I got for you folks. There is still a lot to unpack here, but I don't want to overdo it in these one videos. So make sure to subscribe and show some support by commenting below. And until next time, peace.